Well, when I think of the equipment leasing and finance space, the first thing I think about is the size of the market. I mean, it's a very large market. And then the current climate, when I look at that today, the projection is for very modest growth on the horizon. So the first natural question when you see that is, okay, how am I going to grow originations and how am I going to build assets in that environment? And before you can answer that question, you really have to take another layer down into the climate. And then when you do that, you'll see that there's a lot of disruption going on. And then there's several ways that you can grow the business in this situation. And you really have to take market share. And one way to do that is you could grow wallet share. You could, through account penetration. You could also enter new markets or adjacent markets to grow. But really, before you decide on which plan and what avenue you want to take, you really have to understand the customer expectations in their respected areas. And that's the tricky part, because really you're trying to hit a moving target. And when I think about that, I think about you have to have the platform that's able to execute against these expectations. And then a big one, which I think is really important, is cultural fit. Because really with the way that partnerships are more intimate now than they've ever been, the cultural fit between the two companies, that's really going to determine the length of the partnership. And then the most important thing of all are the people. Because in order to pull this all together, in order to execute on all this, you really have to have a creative, dynamic, and diverse workforce. I mean, when I first entered into the industry, it was all the sales, marketing, finance majors were the ones that gravitated to our industry. But you look at it now, and that's not necessarily the case. Creativity, thinking, the diversification of it, and we do value communication, listening skills, being able to be connected. So technology is an obvious one, that we gravitate towards as well. But really, people that aren't afraid to think, to be creative, that could come with ideas. And then second is to develop and foster the existing talent we have across the industry. And therefore, we can identify the next generation of leaders that could lead us into the new frontier. Because it's one thing to be able to recruit that top talent that comes in, but if you don't have that environment where they feel that they're valued and they feel that they have a say at the table and their ideas are being used and implemented, then of course, you're going to lose them. So really that goes kind of hand in hand with everybody. So the organizations that do that the best and use the ELFA as a resource tool to do that are the ones that are really going to thrive.